You're up here. Everybody's rushing. Everybody's got to get going. Maybe you're snapping. Maybe they're snapping. Who knows? But picture that situation if you could just breathe. Right? The same things are going to happen. The end result is going to be very different, my friend. Breathe. This is your reminder to just breathe. But first, I want you to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And be aware of the rise and fall. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Just your natural breath. Hey friends, welcome to A Work in Progress, where we dive into tips and tools for building a mentally fit foundation. I'm your host, Kimberly, and in today's podcast, we're going to dive into something that's with you every moment of every day, but most of us barely notice it. Your breath. Before we get started, this is your reminder to breathe. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to forget about the power of intentional breathing. This is a perfect time as we jump in and dive into this work on a deeper level to slow down and tune into our bodies. Eyes open or eyes closed, the choice is yours. Settle into a relaxed, natural breath. Unfurrow your eyebrows, unclench your jaw, drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth and breathe. Relax your shoulders, let your arms hang heavy at your side, unclench your fists and breathe. Relax your legs, thighs, and seat, and just breathe. All right, let's get right into this. In the intro, I asked you to pay attention to your hands. Why? Most of us tend to breathe shallow from our chest, especially when we're stressed. When we learn to breathe from our diaphragm, that's the muscle right beneath your lungs, which allows your lungs to fully expand, not only does this provide more oxygen to your brain and body, but it also helps calm your nervous system. Deep inhales bring clean oxygen into your bloodstream, fully invigorating you. Deep exhales help carry away toxins and negative energy. Think about that quick breath work that we just did. How did it feel when you focus on the exhale and release tension in your body? Pay attention to your body when you're breathing. So why is breath work so important? The way we breathe affects everything from how stressed we feel to how we sleep at night. Breath work can help reduce anxiety, increase focus, boost energy, and even strengthen our immune systems. When we're under stress, our breath tends to become shallow and rapid, which signals our brain that we're in danger. This kicks off an entire stress response, leaving us feeling more anxious, overwhelmed, and scattered. Think about this for the parents in the room or for those who spend time around kids. You've got a kid who just hurt himself or just lost a soccer game or just got a bad grade or yelled at by a teacher. They come to you all worked up, shallow breathing, shoulders up in our ears. They can't catch a deep breath. What is the first thing you tell them to do? Breathe, right? It's your sign that everything is okay, that we can't even get into fixing mode until we breathe. Think about that kiddo. When you tell them to breathe, what do? Right? They can slow down, they can control their breathing, and then they can start to process. Put it on the other hat. You're the overwhelmed parent. It's morning. I'm a mother of 2. Mornings are chaotic. You've got 18 million things to do. You're inevitably going to forget something as you're racing and rushing out the door. You've got a kid who's not feeling it in the morning and maybe is the grumpy cat character in the morning and just is creating extra stress and trauma. You're up here. Everybody's rushing. Everybody's got to get going. Maybe you're snapping. Maybe they're snapping. Who knows? But picture that situation if you could just breathe. Right? The same things are going to happen. The end result is going to be very different, my friend. Another example. I have 2 boys, 8 and 16. I think about my 16-year-old. He's got a lot of test anxiety. He's a perfectionist. He puts a lot on himself. Before he goes into test, he's worked up. He's already thinking about the things that he forgot about. He's up here. His shoulders are up in his ears. He can't think, he can't function. What do I tell him to do every single day of a test? Breathe, right? And notice how our body changes when we breathe as well. Our shoulders relax, our face muscles relax. This space in our chest relaxes. We open ourselves up to be able to then start processing. Let's go into another real life example. You're having a difficult conversation with a coworker or a client. Things start to get heated. You notice your body tensing up. Again, the shoulders rise. Maybe we become flushed in the face. Our heart starts racing. What happens in that situation? Are you able to show up as your best self and maintain control in that conversation? Or picture yourself breathing in that conversation, just taking a moment to reground and recenter yourself. Or you're talking with a partner. Same thing happens. It's a very tense, uncomfortable conversation. We start to elevate ourselves. Our breath becomes short and shallow. Our body tenses up and becomes rigid. Imagine when you breathe, you're creating space and grace for conversations to flow freely, but also to be able to get yourself into a place of focus and intention. We need to be intentional about taking a time out, and breathing helps reset emotionally challenging situations and refocus our energy. So here's the good news. By practicing proper breathing techniques, especially breathing from our diaphragm, we can flip that switch and activate our body's relaxation response. We shift out of that fight or flight mode and back into a place of calm and focus. Remember, achieving mental fitness is not about being happy, but it's about living and loving our best life and being able to achieve greater things. So let's go back to that first prompt when I asked you to breathe and place a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly. Go ahead and do that again. Maybe you didn't do it the first time around or you forgot. Are you breathing from your chest or are you breathing from your belly? The goal is to keep your hand on your chest relatively still while the hand on your belly rises and falls with each breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, allowing your belly to expand. Notice the hand on your belly moving up. Your chest should remain still. Exhale slowly through your mouth, feeling your belly lower. Again, the hand on your belly should be moving while the one on your chest stays still. Repeat this for a few breath cycles, focusing on your breath, focusing on the rise and fall of your belly, and try to slow down each inhale and exhale. You can count to 4 as you inhale, hold for a moment, and then exhale for a count of 4. Take a moment and pause. What do you notice in your body when you slow down and you become intentional about your breathing? Now think of those examples that we went over a few moments ago. Imagine if you could first control your breath, how you're going to be better able to show up for the other person on that side of the picture. Imagine how that entire moment changes. Instead of jumping into fight or flight mode and possibly adding to an already stressful, chaotic situation, we're better equipped to jump in and handle that with caution, with grace, with focus, with clarity. So what is the best time to do breath work? Really, it's any time, especially though when you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or unfocused. Make it a part of your daily routine. For me, when I first started doing breath work, much like meditation, I would be intentional every hour, just a few seconds. Starting off, it doesn't need to take long. Or knowing intentional times that you've got transitions in your day. So mornings, before your day even starts, before the kids get up for breakfast, slow down and breathe. Do a quick check-in with your body and notice how this tension is creeping up. As you're going throughout your day, maybe you're going from meeting to meeting to meeting, take a moment and breathe. Refocus and recenter your energy before you go into that next meeting, that next transition. Maybe going from work to home and back and forth. Breathe. Take a moment before you enter the house to just breathe. Begin to be aware of how your entire body responds and reacts when you are intentional about taking deep cleansing inhales and deep cleansing exhales, releasing all of those toxic gases and all of that negative energy with it as well. Be mindful of your body as you go through the day. Are your shoulders up here? Once you're aware of yourself, you're going to see this in other people, and you're going to be able to help them to diffuse. I guarantee, instinctively or not, when you see me lift my shoulders and relax my shoulders, your body is responding. When you can start to lead with this, others are going to pick up on that presence around you as well. There's going to be so much more peace and positive energy. It's going to be able to help you really focus on what actually needs to get done, not the chaos. Don't be part of the chaos. Stop the spiral and focus on your breath. Remember, when you control your breath, you control your state of mind. We're going to do a quick breathwork meditation. So if you've hung with me this long, I'm going to encourage you to stay with me for a few more moments. I truly believe in the power of meditation. It helps us to stay on top of our emotions, but also helps us to slow down so that we can inevitably achieve greater things throughout our day. So when you're ready, eyes open or eyes closed, I want you to settle into a relaxed, natural breath. And just be aware of your body real quick. Where may have tension have crept up? And be aware of your breath. Maybe place your hand on your belly and focus on the rise and fall of your diaphragm, sending our breath deep into our belly instead of shallow in our chest. I want you to visualize the breath and picture it as a color as it enters your nose when you inhale. And see if the color changes when you exhale. I want you to be acutely aware of taking deep, cleansing breaths in, filling your lungs all the way from the bottom to the top. And with that big, deep exhale, squeezing all of those toxins and negative energy with it. Visualizing the color. Does it change? Don't judge it. Just be curious of it. Be aware of what your body's trying to tell you in this moment. I'm going to let you sit here quietly on a few breath cycles as you visualize that breath, but begin to be intentional about where that breath is coming from and how it's escaping. Inhale. Exhale. And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes and bring your awareness back to this space. Before you move on with your day, take a moment and think about how you can be more intentional about your breath. Maybe you set a notice on your calendar to breathe every morning before you wake up, or maybe you take a moment at lunchtime to breathe, or maybe at the end of your workday, or right before you go to bed. I'd love to hear how this podcast has impacted you. Any tips or tricks that you picked up or things that you've started to learn along the way. So if you like what you heard, go ahead, drop me a like, drop me a comment, go ahead and pass it along to a friend that might need to hear it as well. If you want to take a deeper dive into breathwork, subscribe to my newsletter and unlock a library of breathing exercises to help you live more peacefully and fully and really truly start to live and love your best life. Be sure to join me next week as we continue to build a mentally fit foundation. Until then, remember to breathe, look for the good, and be the rising tide. Be well, my friends.